to pop in if you have fabulous ideas that I do not. So anyways, welcome. Meredith was here. We had some issues. She's hopefully coming right back because I know she's way more engaging than I am. So sorry, it's just me. But we wanted to talk today about our favorite Chrome tools. I don't know. Are all of y'all all Googly users, or is anybody using other things? Like, does anybody not use Chrome? My husband pulled up like Microsoft something the other day, like I don't even know what it was. I was like, I don't even know what that browser is, dear. Like, what is that? So I'm going to assume that if you're here today, you're familiar with Google Chrome. And now this is not working. Guys, you guys, this is just such a day today. What are we doing? I've lost my whole screen now, haven't I? My life is wonderful at the moment. The irony is like gone too. How about that? Now it's back. Is that back? Yay. Is it December yet? Is it December yet? We have been in school since August 31st in my district. So I think we're all already like December tired. So some of the things I wanted to talk to you about. I had a bunch of Chrome tools, and I think Meredith's going to take over those shortcuts. I haven't looked at that. And then we just had a bunch of extensions that we thought, ooh, these are cool. Some of them we use, some of them we don't. I wanted to put them out there for all of you who feel like exploring. So I guess I'm gonna have okay, so profiles. I have a personal profile, like my me stuff that I do that's not school related. And then I also have a school profile. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with profiles, right? Angela's probably got about 500. Yes, 3. There you go. A profile really, I mean, it's just like your login, you're saved there. Anything that you save while you're in this internet personality gets saved to that. And if you are like most of us, where you have one for school and one for home, those profiles are so amazing because you can just flip back and forth. Like when I take my personal computer to school, I can flip back to my work stuff that I need to do over here. I can do personal stuff over here because I keep all my lessons are on my personal drive and they're just linked to my school drive. So it's really a great way to like switch back and forth between personal and professional lives. And then I'm going to also talk to you about bookmarks because I adore bookmarks. Like my whole life is in bookmarks. I could not find documents if I didn't use bookmarks. So I'm just going to show you, a profile is linked to whatever email you use. So what I have on the screen right now, that's my school profile, right? So I log into any Chrome browser on my home computer, school computer, public computer, whatever, wherever you're logging in. I log into Google, I hit my school email, put in my password, and like everything that I do in that password and that username is all just accessible, right? So my drive is there, my email is there. If I have a calendar for work, it's there. Anything that is a Google product that is attached to that email address, that profile is right there. So that's the school one. You can customize it. I think Meredith put this slide in here. I don't care about customization, but you can go to town on it if you want to have colors, if you want to have icons, any of these things. You can just adjust. Look, y'all, Meredith texted me and she's like, the whole Chrome shut down. So she's switching computers. So today's just our great day of like technology irony. So I'll let her come back on and talk about these profile customizations if you want. So anyways, what I was going to tell you is I have a profile for school and then I have another one for my personal, and you can just toggle back and forth, have two different browsers open, and you can have access to everything. There's Meredith. Yay, Meredith is here. Hey, Meredith. This is like the most ironic tech tool. There's Meredith again. Fun times today, guys. Okay, so anyways, profiles are really awesome because it just lets you keep stuff in separate places. I don't know if you remember like moving things on flash drives. This gets rid of, does anybody even allow flash drives? My schools don't allow them because they bring viruses and stuff. So, ooh, Angela, she can have them. So profiles are just like a digital flash drive, right? Anything you want to do on your school account, click in that profile. Anything you want to do at home, do on that profile. They're fabulous. They help keep life organized. And I think when Meredith gets her stuff set up, she can talk to us about the customizing because I know she loves doing that stuff. Let me make sure I've got it so that everybody can Log in. I'm gonna do this to make sure Meredith can get in. All right, we see a chat. Can't unmute. I'm coming to unmute you. I'm coming to unmute. Hello, Mike. Hello, camera.
Yay!
There. Yay. All right, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Talking about profiles, and you put something.
You should see my other Chrome browser. It's just like frozen, and then at the top it's like new Chrome available. I'm like, yeah, no, like, yeah, sad. So I have a laptop in front of a desktop. Whatever.
We always want to do our updates when it tells you.
That's right. And also like, well, that's the one I updated, which is funny. So it's like, so this one's like new Chrome. I'm like, no, not today. It's just sitting here like slowly crawling. No, we're gonna ignore that. Yay, so perfect timing. Anyway, that's what you do. You always have a backup device. Anywho, yeah, so exactly what you were saying with profiles, like also like for me, it's helpful to organize what I want to do where. Like my school profile, I do certain things. I think Angela, you're the same way. Like, and I think Shannon as well. Like personal Gmail profile, I do other things sometimes, you know, because everything carries over. So I don't, you know, sometimes your district can be different about security. So it's like, do you want your Amazon password saved, you know, on your school Chrome profile, that kind of thing. But the other thing you can do is color code profiles. So I know for me, with like technology and permissions, I have elevated permissions compared to like what I had as a teacher, of course. And I have like a couple of service accounts where I can archive people's Google Classrooms. I can do things that like as a teacher, I didn't have the control to. So I take that service, I have that service account, have like a different Chrome profile color so that I know when I'm in that profile. And like same thing for my work Google like profile and my like personal one. My work one is kind of like a pinkish and my personal one's kind of a bluish. So just so that I can visually see like which one I'm in and suddenly be like, oh, that's why I'm not in my, you know, and I can switch over, switch profiles or open a new window or whatever I need to do. So the color coding is super nice. And it's just in your settings. In your settings, you'll see this little swatch and you can pick a theme color, which is cool.
And you know, I think
I like to add the different icons also.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I have an image on my personal one, like my face profile picture.
Yeah.
The school one has just a color for the school colors. So yeah, it is a really good visual cue to know what you're talking about and to know which one you're in.
Absolutely. To know which one you're in, like what you're doing. For sure.
You want to talk about our favorite thing? Well, my favorite thing on the planet.
Okay, same.
Dude, I live and breathe by bookmarks. If you are not bookmarking things, you are losing a lot of precious time. Like, I love the bookmarks bar. It seems very like circa 1998, but it is fabulous. Like, so I take a screenshot of my work profile. I've got an administrative folder. So all of that junk, I shouldn't say junk, that really important teacher stuff that you have to do every day, those websites are right there. So like my lesson plan, the ISS sheet, things I got to do for advisement, right? Our calendars, if I got a news request. All the things that I use on the regular that I don't want to have to go in and dig into my folders to be like, where did I get that? Even though I'm really organized, it's kind of a pain to have 17 clicks because I'm an over organizer. I don't know if you guys are the ones that have a folder inside of a folder inside of a folder and it's just one document. We don't need all the folders, ladies. Let's give up the folders this year. But that's me. So I know Angel's like, no, I love my folders. I love them too, obviously. But all of the things that I have to do every single day, or at least every week, things that I'm going to need really frequently, I have them in that administrative folder. And I think that I also, and so here's another one, like the lessons that I need every day. My entire unit is in a slideshow. So I just have the units linked in my lesson plan. When I'm done with one, I unlink it. I unbookmark it, put the next one in there. So every day I can go in, okay, what am I doing? What do I need to edit? I don't have to dig through my 7 folders to find the right lesson. And I have new teachers that I work with a lot. And so we're sharing lesson plans, we're sharing resources all the time. So I'm always in and out of my curriculum folders and they're nested very beautifully inside of my Google Drive. But I know that I need these really frequently. So I have them in their own folder. I have my lesson plans. I can pull them up in like half a second to talk to our new teachers and be like, all right, let's get on the same page. What are we talking about? They're all just right there. I'm almost afraid to ask Meredith what your bookmarks bar looks like.
Brace yourself. If you click one ahead, ta-da.
Oh my gosh. Ready?
Let me see. There it
Yes.
is. Yeah, so mine are along the same lines. And that doesn't say Spanish 1 asses. It says assessments, I promise. It just looks like asses. I don't call them that to their face, right? So mine
it's
is very much the
assessment.
same. I know. I'm like, wah. Mine's very similar to what you were showing, Shannon. So like with the daily tabs, because you can right click on a folder. So if you're like, I'm not sure where my bookmarks live, I star stuff, it goes away, like all that kind of thing. Being able to just drag them down into folders, or when you click that star, being able to put it right in that folder or create it right then is really nice. And then
Yes.
from there, you can right click on any folder and open them all at the same time. So in like fall of 2020, when COVID started, just like Shannon had like the, login, ISS, like the stuff you open every single day, I would just get to school, set down my coffee, like breathe a big sigh, because it was like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is all crazy. And it was so many more websites at once than I had ever had to keep track of. Because like every single day you were like, okay, are we synchronous? Are we asynchronous? Did I post? Did I not post? The kids in the room, the kids on Zoom, like it was so much to keep together. So I have a folder that it's still called daily school tabs at the top of my Chrome, because I can just right click and open them all at once. Now I've got like the portal page, I'm into Teams, I'm into Outlook, I'm into Gmail, like all the things have opened. And once I've logged in, I'm ready to go. So that's really nice. And then these are examples of mine. These are like my Spanish 1 slideshows. Like Shannon said, I've got all my units in one. And then same thing with my assessments. I've got all my assessments in one folder too. That is not what they look. Well, this does happen to be what they look like on Google Drive, but they don't have to. Like your bookmarks, if you, excuse me, another county heard from over here. Sorry.
Yep, look, mom's back here.
If you're Lordy, who knows, he better, I'm giving him the eye. If you have them like all over the place on Drive, but you have your bookmarks organized, the two don't talk to each other in terms of like where they live, how they live, organizing them, etc. So they could look like this in a folder, or they could be in all different folders, but you've bookmarked them in a row. So if that feels overwhelming, like, oh, I have to get my Google Drive is a disaster, your bookmarks don't have to be. And maybe that can actually be like the first step. For me, that's a nice, like, what do you call it? Like sort of, I don't know, baby step towards organizing Google Drive and all those is like, okay, what do I need every day? And kind of putting those things more accessible.
Like, exactly. So like in my lessons, all 3 of those documents live in 3 different subfolders of subfolders. But because I use them frequently, just stick them in my bookmarks and boom, I have them ready. Just like you were saying, it's so much easier to get to them here than digging through your folder.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to send them to a colleague, you can always right click on your bookmarks and copy the link. So you don't have to go all the way to Drive. If someone's like, hey, send me that, you're not like, ah, crap, where does that live? Because you're also able to rename your bookmark. So that happens to be what the files are also called for me, like Unit 1, Quiz 1, Unit 1, Quiz 2. But even if it was called something else totally different, I could still right click, copy it, and send it. And I don't have to like know what the file was in my Drive, which is kind of a nice shortcut.
Yes. Do y'all like name things and then 4 days later, you're like, I don't even know what to name that?
Correct. What could I have put? I finally had to get naming norms. And I think, Angela, you and I were talking about it, I think one time, like, because Bethany Drew, who's phenomenal, she does a numbered system. So like her grade book just has like 1 through 20. And then she has like so amazing. Just has a legend, like a key, like here's what 1 is, here's what 2 is. And she just keeps like a running document, I think like somewhere on her board, but also just like a Google Doc that she can share or like embed wherever. So that she's like, remember number 7 is blah, 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 and then her like documents within the unit, same thing. She'll put a number in the title and then do like what it is. So it might be like 1 period space. Notes, like preterite, imperfect notes, whatever. And then so that everything in her Drive numbers like that. Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I would be like 1A, 1B, 1C.
Isn't that great? Yeah. And then it's like, she'll do like like zeros for the first thing. Yeah. I was gonna say it's absolutely. She'll do zeros for the first thing. And then like totally 1A, 1B, 1C, like that might all be one day. Maybe the number's like the day of the unit. So it's super nice. Very clean.
Oh my gosh. That is wildly impressive. So impressive.
My numbering system is 1, or 1.2. So unit 1, lesson 1, unit 1, lesson 2, and then a letter for which week that was happening. So I might have 1.1a, 1.1b would be the second week of lesson 1 of unit 1. And then I add a number after that for like where it, like what that thing is in that week of that lesson of that unit.
Y'all just made me feel like I'm not very organized at all.
And you're so organized.
And
Isn't that
also,
funny, but like everyone being so different, like what are the processes that make you feel like organized, together, prepared? Like they're so different. Absolutely.
For sure. And one of the guys that I worked with last year, like I think of a unit as day 1, day 2, day 3 of a unit. Like I don't care about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And for the life of us, we could not get together because he's like, well, that's the Monday lesson. I'm like, I don't know what Monday is. It's day 2. You know, like it's really cool to see how people's brains work for organization.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. And then you share something with somebody, you're like, oh, no wonder you can't find it because you didn't, you know, I was thinking linear and you were like looking in some other folder. These are just more examples of not just bookmark folders for resources, but stuff that people share. Like, you know, it could be like a webinar like this or something. Someone says, hey, try this, you know, timer, or try Flippity or try Bookit. And they mention these websites that sound like all kind of crazy stuff. And you're like, Flippity, but it's a great tool. Bookit, it's a great game. But if you don't, for me, if I don't bookmark it right away and come back to it, I'll forget it and I'll go, what was the name of that thing they said? So I like to also have folders by category. Like what's the thing? Here's in-class music, in-class tools / games. That way, when somebody mentions something, I can just bookmark it and save it there. Like Story Dice, super fun. WordWall makes amazing games. Plickers, Wheel Decide, like a dice roll. Just a fun die to have in class that's huge and visual on YouTube that you can just hit the space bar and go like, boop, all right, we rolled the die and 4, you know, it's like rolling it's just a little different, right? You can always like roll an actual die, but just something different. But I like to save all those under a category of what they do, and then I don't lose them.
Meredith, your picture right here, the games, it makes me think of something my IT guy told us just this year.
I know exactly what you're going to say. It's so good.
It is, I think I might have it somewhere in there, but see how all of these have a different icon, right? So it's when you are making your bookmarks, I may have an example. Yes, here's a tiny little example.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, look. I think I might be able to do this. Let's see.
I've got a funny one that I'll have to tell you.
Not Blooker. All right, so if I do Bookit, can you guys still see all this? And I want to highlight it. I'm going to put it in my bookmarks. I'm just going to erase the name.
Yes.
Done. And then, oh, that'd be great if I actually clicked on Bookit first, though. Sorry. Erase Bookit. Yeah, today's the day for winning the internet. And then it just pulls up. You can go to it right here without having to like take up all of the name and the words. Yep. So if you're an icon-based person, I literally looked at him like he had 4 eyes and was like, how have I never figured this out?
Right, dude. So well, unlike the ones you said, like Bookit's great because the icon doesn't look like anything else. Quizlet, right? Kind of looks like Kia / quizzes, but just recognize the little Q, like so good.
Yes, I mean that's my attendance thing. All the icons that I'm so used to seeing, like I don't have to read it. I just look for the picture. So.
That's right. Bing. Yay.
Can you talk to us about your shortcuts?
Yeah, these are some of my favorite shortcuts. So just thinking like, the middle text is wrong. Sorry, my bad. These are just for like workflow, different things like keeping you like working quickly. So if you're so they're kind of like Slides / Chrome kind of like together app smashed. But if you ever present, like we're presenting with Canva right now, but if you ever present with Google Slides, which is what guides all of my units are in Google Slides. And like Shannon said before, I knew that all of our directions, all of our games, everything student facing was also teacher facing because it reminded me of like what the heck I planned for us to do, because you come back and you're like, it's Monday. What's my job here? Like, I don't understand. So I wanted to make sure, like, I know I left planned and ready, but like, also what was that plan? So if you present in Google Slides and you ever need black space or white space, like white space to just stop and have some space that you can put up your screen, or if you present directly on your board or some kind of like whatever screen or board that you can write on. If you just do the W key while you're presenting, it'll go all white, and then you can do any key to come back. So if you're presenting in Google Slides and you just do boop, quick W, It'll like blank out your slide and go away. Doesn't stop your presentation. Hit any key to resume. And same with B for black. So if they're like already looking, or you want a little suspense, you're telling a story, you're giving some input, and you're like, I wouldn't cheat, and you don't want them to look ahead, or they're distracted by the picture. And you've maybe even got the ability, like we can wirelessly project. So if I wanted, I could have my computer like with me, but I always use a clicker. So if I wanted my keyboard like right there, I could, or just have a kid, you know, next to it, whatever, up to you. Whatever your ability to walk around with your devices. But the B will all of a sudden black it out. So you could be like, oh, y de repente, dot, 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 you know, B for black screen, some suspense, and then any key would go to your, would bring it back and go to your next slide. So that's kind of nice, just to quickly, you know, have something either to show, to pause, to like add a note, to write something, and then just to go right back.
I mean, I think about that, like, I don't know about you guys, but some of the schools that I've been in, they are like, here's your smart board. You don't need a whiteboard anymore. There's no reason why you would need both pieces of technology, you know. So sometimes you lose that whiteboard function in your classroom because they've drilled holes in it for 18 years, or it doesn't work, or whatever. That's a great little way to be like, all right, let's stop what I'm doing. Now I need to write the thing that you need to copy.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
And I always projected on my dry erase board. So I'd be like, oh, notice the ando, notice the endo. Oh, these are gerunds, you know, and I'd be like, hold on, W, let me explain this real quick. All right, erase, 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 and resume. Yeah, super nice.
Yes, and that way you're not like grumpy that you don't have a whiteboard that works anymore. I love it. Yep,
absolutely. Hey, Matt, teacher's grumpy, never. If you want to send somebody, let's say you're sending an article. This is an article about something I can't remember, World Cup. And if I wanted to do like starting with Reynard's departure and then all the way down to Twitter, like I have highlighted, if I want to send this, I'm like, ooh, this is like, there mentions like the French national team. Let me send this to Shannon. Let me send this to Angela. Maybe it's in French. Like maybe it's something I'm sending to students or to colleagues. If I select that text and right click, I'm not only sending a link to the article, but I'm also sending a link to that highlight. And when they open up that link, it's going to look like it looks below in purple. So it automatically scrolls to that section and highlights the part that I decided to highlight. I can only do one. You can't do multiple, but it'll take them right to that highlight. And you just paste it. You click copy link to highlight and then just paste it like you normally would. Super, super nice, especially for students. Hey, read this, thought of you. Or, ooh, look, we can understand this sentence, and you link it for students. Like, what do you think this part means? Even novices, couple of sentences together in one place that have some key vocab. They're like, I just understood a thing like from a, Le Monde article or whatever. Like, look at me. And that can be a confidence builder, or it can just be handy, like in your life, not necessarily teaching.
I know. I'm like, you're so good. You're like, here's how my kids can use it. I'm like, here's how I can use it for my administrator who won't listen.
Heck yeah. Amen. That too. You're like, good grief, dude. Like, come on.
It says it right here. Look for the purple.
It's right here. For reopening tabs, like tabs that you just closed and need to reopen, you can do a quick Control-Shift-T, so you don't have to go to a new tab and like navigate back to where you are. But also this is delightful for the children because we're in world language, probably everyone here. And they tend to go, no, I didn't Google Translate. Madame, I would never. And you're like, oh, that's weird because that's like the plusquamperfect. So you did. You can do a quick, even if they just have the little basic Chromebooks, you can just kind of lean over and do a quick Control-Shift-T and go, let me just check your other tabs. And inevitably, 9 times out of 10 for mine, what comes up, it's like, brink, brink, like Spanish Dict and Google Translate and Word Reference. These are all great references. Little Chat GPT in there, because why not? They're all great resources. But that's right. They're all great resources, but like, you didn't need this. And now you sound like you've wasted our time. Like you sound way more advanced than you are. And we weren't even on our devices. So that can be nice, again, for life or for the classroom to recover stuff and to do different things. And it'll save the history, which is nice. If you're like, oh, shoot, what was the other website? How did I get there? Darn, I just closed that tab. Even if you reopen that tab, it'll bring the tab history with it.
Yes, that's great. That would be a good one. My kids are about to start working on the going shopping unit. And part of it is go to these websites. Don't change the language to English.
Oh, 100%.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Let me find that. All right, cool.
Yay. Same. There's a funny meme out there somewhere that says like, sometimes your brain is like your tabs, like there's 53 open and I can't tell where the music's coming from. And I always think of, when I think of mute site, I think of that because it's funny. It's like, yeah, sometimes you get on websites or YouTube, like you'll finish a video, but maybe you didn't hit pause or whatever, or later it comes back to life. Like you didn't realize, but you told it like, yes, I'm still here. And suddenly an ad's blasting and it's like, used cars or whatever. Just all the weird things. Or like Blookit. I love Blookit. The Blookit music is not great. I do not like the Blookit music. So I always right click on the tab and I mute the site. So I never hear the Blookit music. I just played like other Blookit like other music from YouTube that was more suspenseful because I don't like the game music, or if the GimKit music, anything, Quizlet Live, any kind of games that have like a kind of redundant music to them. They can be nice to just like right click and mute site. Or any website. Just don't forget to unmute it, because later you'll go to your technology person and be like, I can't get the sound to play. And it's like, girl, you muted it a month ago, but you forgot.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, same, 100%. And then I was like, ugh. The other thing is too, which is nice, if you have a tab and maybe like for me, I picture too, like when you're putting in, let's say you're grading like 2 things at once, or you're putting it like you're trying to figure out a student's highest of the 2, right? I'll take your this score or your this score, and they both happen to be like online, like so something you're looking at in a screen. If you need to pull up like 2 Canvas screens or 2 eClass screens or 2 whatever, PowerSchool, whatever it is, you can right click and duplicate the tab. You don't have to open up a whole new tab and then like log back into your employee portal and all those kind of things. And they bring the tab history, which is nice, or they should. So you can like just double it and then navigate where you need to go in the second one and save yourself some steps.
This one is so great. Like, I don't know if you guys do it like this, but like I make my lessons, like I do the lesson part, and then I have a section where it's like, all right, here's all the notes for the kids to take. And it's always on like another slide. So that duplicating, I can have them on 2 different screens. Like, here's the lesson, and then I can type in the notes that I need them to do over here, like copy paste, instead of having to copy scroll, copy paste. You know what I mean? Like that duplicate is so nice.
Same. So nice. It's super, yeah, it's really nice. Same kind of like to your point, Shannon, about the like pinning, like the bookmarks just being the icons. You can do the same thing and make some of your tabs just the icons, which is nice. I do that for like our portal a lot of times, like our employee portal. So it's just like tiny like Gwinnett County torch all of a sudden in the corner. Same thing, just right click. Anytime you can right click on something, always right click. There's like buried treasure waiting. And this one is just pin. So when you right click, then choose pin, and it'll just slide on over to the top left of your Chrome browser, which is great. And you could open 87 tabs after that. You can never move a pinned tab. It just stays all the way to the right. So you're not like, crap, where did I put where's my Canvas tab? Where's my eClass tab? Where's my gradebook? Like, you're like, they're right there. Like, just always live. And I've gotten to where I almost have like that muscle memory. I'm like, oh, that's right. Portal's right here once I pinned it, and habitually kept up with it.
That's awesome. You know, I've forgotten all about pin. I'm so used
I know, right?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. So like if you pinned the Teams tab right now, if you're in a browser and not like in the Teams app, it'll just be like tiny Teams icon. Like that'd just be like a little like branded little purple, like, is that 2 people or 3? It's like 2 people and a T. It'll suddenly be that. It'll take away the text of the tab.
Oh, cute. I think I went back to one. All right, sending links.
No, it's perfect. And then also with sharing, some other workflow things are a lot of times, like if I have something open on my work computer, I'm like, I got to go, but I do want that later. Let me send it to myself. Before I copy, paste it into like an email to myself that I'll get, that's fine. And it doesn't take long. I know that my phone is logged into Chrome under the same profile that my computer is. So when you click on that little, like the square with the outward arrow, like the little sort of universal share icon, one of the options is send to other devices. And when you're in Chrome on that device, a little thing will come up that says, it'll say like sent from another tab. Like, would you like to open tab? Yes, I would. So just be like, I'm just going to open up my Chrome into like a random tab, like just a blank tab. So like, here it is. It would go like tab sent, open tab. You can click it, and now you're exactly where you were. Or you can navigate to in Chrome, like on your phone, and it'll say other devices, and you can look at what your tabs, like what tabs you have open under your other Chrome, same Chrome profile, but like on your other computer. So like there's my work computer. It's still on. I just logged out, or not logged out. I locked it because I was being lazy. Locked it and then walked away. So it's still, I can see exactly like where I left off, which is really nice.
That's really cool. I never explored that one.
Super nice, but you got to have Chrome on whatever the device is, but that's pretty like Android and iPhone friendly.
Cool.
And same thing, that same menu, if you're like, how do people make these freaking QR codes? Or you're still, I like QR Code Monkey as a website, but Chrome for most websites will do its own QR code. So when you right click on that little, now it's like the little square with the like outwards arrow, but not the share one, like the other one that's like the arrow jumping out of a box. One of the options there, well, I guess it is the same one. It looks different on a Windows. That screenshot's from a PC. The other screenshot was from a Mac, I think. But anyway, whatever that little share outward arrow is, instead of send to devices, same one as the previous one, you want create QR code, boom, it'll make a QR code for that site, done. And you don't have to go to like an external, like another website.
That's amazing.
Which is sweet. What's nice about those too is you can right click and copy and then like paste it into a slide or whatever. So if you've made like a Gimkit set that you want them to do, you know, while you're checking other work and you're going around like checking and you're like, just do it on your phone or pull it up on your Chromebook. Like you can click on it from eClass or do it here on your phone if that's fine. It's just boop, 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 click it, put it right in your lesson slides and keep on moving.
That's fabulous. I don't think I knew that existed.
Yay, same one.
All right.
Oh, and this one's one of my favorites too. If you're in Drive and somebody's like sent you a file or you're like, which one was which? Like which is the PDF? Which is my updated one? Which one's from this year? I can't remember which quiz is which. You don't have to double click it when you're in Google Drive. When you're in Chrome and you're in Google Drive, just click once on the title, touch the P key, and P for preview will come up. So you get like a little, like a thumbnail, pretty big, like almost your whole screen size. But you don't have to open it. It won't open like 74 tabs to where you're like, oh, geez, where to Drive? I can't get back. How did I get here? It's just a preview. And then you can click off to the side or hit escape and it goes right back to your Drive. Super nice.
That's a really nice one. I feel like this is like the Meredith thing for the semester. This is the thing that you've been like all about this semester.
It's so good. It's just all these little like workflow things. People, it's when you realize you can work a little bit faster if it works for you, it's like, yeah, do it. Why not?
Of course. And I think another really cool thing about Chrome are obviously the extensions. I'm hoping that everybody knows about extensions. If you don't, they're just little programs that you can add to Chrome to change its functionality. And so how do you get them, right? So you go to the Chrome store, kind of like, I guess most of us are probably Apple or Droid users. You go to the store, you can do that on your computer to the Chrome store. And there's so many. I'm almost afraid. I wonder, do you have a bunch of extensions, Meredith, like down the screen?
You know what? No, I've got like probably 10 that I use all the time, and then probably like 20 total. But like yours, I need to try some of the ones that you've got in here because I was like, ooh, should I use that? Like they sound great. So there's some I need to branch out. I tend to use the same ones.
Me too.
And I tend to be really choosy. Like if I haven't used it a week after I've like put it on, I'm like, nope, next. I clearly don't need it. Like,
right. Yeah. And I'm sort of in a place professional where I'm like, I can't do one more thing right now. So all of these pictures that like I went through and looked, I was like, these have really good potential. And I'm going to need other people to try them out and let us know if they work well. Like I do one more thing right now. So when you do these extensions, you can access them up here in your browser. This little symbol kind of looks like a puzzle piece. I don't know where they picked a puzzle piece, but they did. That's it. And they're fabulous. So I wanted to go through, and these are a bunch of free ones that I found that I thought if you're not already using them or if you're looking for something specifically, these might actually help whatever your need is. We found a bunch of them. Insert learning. Do you use this one? Anyone know of this one?
No.
Me neither, but I looked at the little video of it and I was like, ooh, this is cool. It kind of like does a lot of the things that you would do in, what's the one that everyone loved during the pandemic? Formative, right? So like you can scaffold stuff, you can pull in those authentic resources, kids can pick like embedded discussions and stuff. It's just really like, if you're doing stuff on a computer instead of the kids zoning out, it can really help make things better, right? Like you can add questions, like video. It does like a lot of the same stuff I think that Formative does without having to have a subscription. I picked all of these because they're free too. I am too cheap.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And this is something I think we used a lot we tried to use a lot during the pandemic. Maybe not as much now if you're an online person, but like full screen interactive mode. It's a quick little extension. So like you can keep your screen interactive and editable while you're watching it. So like if you've got stuff that moves around, like if you're showing your slide, you obviously can't manipulate those. So that's going to help you. Like if you're doing one of these like matching things, I thought that was a really great way to use Google Slides because it's there and you use it. Talk and comment. I know, Meredith, you love Moat, don't you? I think I have Moat in here.
Yeah,
But
I do love Moat. Angela does too. But Angela, you've used talk and comment, haven't you? Because this rings a major bell. When I saw it, I was like, I have heard of this.
Oh, tell us about it, Angela, if you can, if you've got time.
Yeah. What's great about it is it literally just hovers over the kind of off to the side in the middle of the right hand side of any web page you're on, and then you just, when you need to comment on something, you can just click it and record a comment. And as far as I can tell, there's no limit to how long you can talk about that thing. And then it'll give you a link that you just share that link with whoever it is that needs to hear your comment. You can also hack when it pops up the box that gives you the link to copy. If you do the inspect, you can actually get the embed code. And then you could, instead of giving a link, if you were putting it in like your LMS or whatever, you could actually embed a play button directly in the LMS, and you could just click play versus having to click a link to go there.
That's exciting.
The one thing that I have found is that they don't have a great privacy policy. So like, that's why I like to have it embedded, because then there's no problem with student data going out to them, because it's all kept within the login that we have for our LMS.
Okay.
But also I would say, so like, maybe don't talk about private student data because they don't have a great privacy policy. But if you're just doing, like, you just want to record your instructions so that they hear the instructions and are reading the instructions, it's super easy to do.
Awesome. And so it'll work with, like, if I had a Google Doc, like my substitute stuff, like, okay, cool. That's a good one.
I just added the full screen interactive slides one. Delightful.
Yay.
It's super cool.
It's
like you're presenting and editing at the same time.
Exciting. I'm going to go put that in there. I love QR codes, but now that Meredith just showed us like the one that's already in Chrome, we'll just skip this one. Just know that there's a bunch of add-ons if you don't want to.
So many good
extensions.
ones.
Yeah, so many good ones.
Well, and some of them too, like, might have weird permissions at work, because I know, like, I have certain extensions, even like, because I now use to clip my tabs. I'm usually on a PC at work, so I'm just like Windows left, Windows right. It's like they're split, whatever. But if you use tab resize, I had to download tab resize. I had to add tab resize because tab scissors and tab glue like aren't district approved. They go away on my work computer, and then when I get home they reappear. So I'm like, that is so weird. So sometimes, like, if certain things, it's a nice backup to have different ways to do QR codes, because sometimes they're not, you'll see they're at home but not at school, or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just all about having it right there at your fingertips and not having to find the website, link. Yeah, it's great. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know that we use these much anymore, but every time I've had to do any kind of screen record, I love Loom. I've used Screencastify, I've used a bunch of different ones. Loom I love because it lets you know when people are watching it. Not gonna lie, when I did my Google training certification video thing that I had to do, I did it on Loom. I got an email when I knew somebody was watching it, and my email, I just started waiting for my emails. Like, okay, they've seen my lesson. Now I'm just wait to hear back from them. So it's really cool. Like, you can track who's seen it. So if little Johnny's like, oh, I should be doing this, or I didn't do this, or I did do this, you've got proof. Like, okay, this is the person, this is the person who didn't. I love Loom.
If your account is like with your school email too, they've got a really fast verification link, and educators get all the premium features free. And the new ones are super sexy too. Like the transcript will take out your filler words. If you say and like, you can delete it from the transcript and from the video. It'll say like, do you just want to take it out in both? Sure do. Like, boop, it'll just AI and do a write-up for you. It's really the new features, the new updates in the last couple months are really, really good for Loom.
Oh, that's great to hear. Cami, I don't know that it's a little clunky. Do you guys use Cami a lot? We
Yeah,
used
it's
to.
a little.
It's clunky, but it's kind of like a good, easy, if you just need to sign a document on there. If you need to modify a PDF that somebody sends you that's not modifiable, it's not a bad option, but it's also free and you don't have to have like some crazy suite of things to use to modify a PDF. Small PDF is, if anybody here has to combine things a lot, like one of the jobs that I did at my last school was Title I parent liaison. Y'all, my dog is just so happy that I'm home. I had to combine all, like literally hundreds of pages of PDFs, and it was such a pain to upload it. So if you're a person who has to like combine a lot of PDFs or break them down, Small PDF's a great website, but they have an extension, so you can just have it right there at your fingertips. I don't know if any of you guys have to mess with that stuff, but it's a good one.
I've seen this, and I've always wondered about that. I've seen it repeatedly and heard like good things about it, but I've never tried it.
And when I was researching these, like it's got a lot of functionalities that I didn't know that it had, right? So you can convert a bunch of stuff to PDF, out of PDF into other things. Like, and I know when we are beg, borrowing, and stealing online, maybe we run into those things that we need to maybe modify. So be helpful. All right, tell us about it, Meredith. I know you love Moat.
Oh, I do, but Angela's like the Moat queen. Moat is well, okay. She says that she is well, and I think there's some overlap there between the other one, the other voice recording. Moat's really nice for on the surface, like it's like you can leave an audio anywhere and you're like, great, awesome. But then you look a little deeper and it's really, really nice for different things. Like it'll insert itself, just a tiny little microphone once you're in and whatever, in like a Google form. So you could give, so there's some accessibility stuff. You can give audio directions as well as the text that would be okay in text to speech and all those kind of things. You can leave feedback if students do a slideshow or something. You can do like directly on there in a Google Doc, like super compatible with all the Google Workspace programs. One thing that I like to do that I can actually put a link in the, well, let me think, hold on, I'm in the wrong device. Actually, I'm going to send a tab to another device. Haha, take that. Is I can put some Moat templates and examples in there that I've used and like shared with the Moat people, because thinking world language, thinking deeper, how many times do you want to send kids like audio to practice some delayed interpersonal almost, or they know like the AP test, or they know that they're going to have 5 questions tomorrow. It's like level 1, unit 1. You're like, here's what I'm going to ask you, practice. And they all go like, yeah. And then what happens? You go, where are you from? 15. What's your name? Georgia. Like, oh my God, like God, I literally told you the questions I was going to ask you. So what I ended up doing was making these kind of soundboards, and on Google Slides, I did like several little Moat recordings. They become an icon directly on, let's say, a slide. And I made them really, really big. And so made like 6 of them that they could click on. And let's say it's 3 on top of 3. The top 3 might be the question in the target language. The bottom 3 might be a model answer to that question in the target language. So they can practice both their question and their answer, and then also listen to the question and practice like responding, kind of compare their pronunciation. It sounds kind of old school, but it kind of is. Like at some point, I think we have to admit that in language, like there's some practice to be had. Like you're not just like, yay, I acquired it. Sure. But also it's like, hold on, what was that word? How many times have I asked you? I think Angela have asked you like la versus lay, right? I have to sit and think and be like, hold on, one of them's plural. Like la, maison or whatever. That's probably feminine with my luck. But anyway, like whatever the word is, like there is some aspect of like, hold on, let me think. I just got to do it, more and more times. Like there's some, I don't know, there's some repetition involved. So that can be really nice as like a resource creator. I've also made things where they can, like a study tool, where I've got 4 Moats, 4 descriptions, and then they match up the Moat that they think like that audio described. And then they check the next slide and check their answers. So it doesn't have to be just in class or just for like grading or evaluating or feedback or whatever. It can also be on the student end to give them access to audio that they may not A, seek out, or B, like have access to, because that would also be a lot to organize, like as a teacher in your Google Drive, to be like, let me find all the audios that aren't the ones I'm going to use on assessments, that aren't like old ones that could be problematic or just out of date. Like that's a lot when we can just quickly go click, record a new one, and then put it pretty much anywhere. So I'll put that link in the chat.
And also, I mean, it's great. Think about if you've got kids, like, I don't know about your schools, but we're already having kids missing multiple days of school for illnesses.
Same.
COVID again. And in a language class, it's so hard to be like, well, here are the slides. Here's what we did. You can add that into like the slideshow and send it to them, and they can do like a lesson at home with you, but with you having to be there. So
exactly. Absolutely. Well, or even if you just want to update your audio, like you've got native speakers in your department who like you didn't have before, and you're like, oh, quick, while we're here. Or like we've got, you know, one Senegalese, one's from France, one's from Cameroon. Amazing. You've got all these different accents, or maybe some of the stuff was too fast before and you want to record a modified version super fast. You don't have to have like any audio equipment. It's just your computer.
Ta-da. Speaking of audio equipment and computers, I found this one and I thought, oh, this would be fabulous. Like, how many times do we find a tool and we're like, hey kids, I need you to go to this tool. You're going to learn how to use it. And they are so lost. So this one like will screen capture and like turns it into a step-by-step guide. And I just thought, okay, I need this, number one, because I'm tired of doing the same 17 directions to the same 14 kids, you know, like click on this button here. So I thought that would be really helpful. Just a little productivity tool. Anybody use this? Anybody use anything similar? No? I'm going to invest.
I've heard it, but I've never used it.
I think it's the one I'm going to.
I've used one called IORAD that does something similar.
Okay. It's pretty easy to use.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Cool.
How funny is this? I totally have Scribe added to my extensions. I'm going to move it forward so that I use it soon, because I think I like added it and then was like, boop, next.
I could totally see you needing to do that. Use that one a lot.
Totally to demo stuff for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and we, you know, how many times do you get an email from somebody? Click on this part, make your students go here. Like, it'd be so much easier to have that and just show them. Print friendly. I thought we would love this as teachers, because how many times do you find an authentic resource with all the junk around it and it takes like 18 pages to print something? Cough infographics. So I just thought that would be a really cool tool for us to use. I'm going to try to move quickly because I think we're getting towards the end of these. Meredith, do you use a custom cursor? Who do I know that uses
I do. Yeah, I used to on my old computer. I don't on this one. Yeah.
That's, to me, that's one of those kind of like fun, nerdy teacher things that we could do to engage with more. Like, I'm starting a food unit. Why would I not make my cursor a baguette?
That's right. It's going to be hamburger. Thank you.
You know, exactly.
Absolutely. I even like all the different colors you can make it. And, you know, in your computer settings, you can adjust the size of your mouse, which is great, and the color. But it's nice to also be able to do that and kind of fun it up. And people notice immediately, which I think is really funny. Like, anytime you change your cursor, they're like, oh, why is yours pink? I'm like, because why not?
Because why not?
Because why is it so big? Also super helpful for screenshots, you know, to not be like this big. It's like, find the baguette, find the shoe, why not?
Perfect. And I think a lot of teachers are having issues with AI right now. So I thought this one would be great. I hope nobody who needs college recommendations from me has it on theirs, because I might use that a lot for college recommendations.
That's such a great idea.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about one. And a kid was like, hey, how's my rec letter coming? I was like, I was just finishing it up. She read it and like tears in her eyes. She was like, you're so good and you know me so well. I sure do.
You're like, it's a robot. Whatever.
Thank you for sending me your bullet points, because ChatGPT did a great job with them.
Yep.
But this is a little add-on that'll help you figure out if kids wrote it or if AI wrote it. And I thought that's a really cool thing to know, because I think we're talking so much about how to harness the power of AI. Make sure we're still keeping kids honest for their learning, though.
Absolutely.
Do you use this one? Does anyone use this one?
No, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's one that, like, if you don't have, like, I love splitting my screen, especially if you've got like multiple screens, but this one lets you sort of adjust the size. Like, if you only need a little bit of this one, but you need a lot of that one, it's just an option if you don't have an extended screen, to sort of have two tabs open and be able to adjust the sizes. Popsicle sticks. Y'all can laugh. I have physical popsicle sticks.
Heck yeah. Same. Yeah, I did too.
Physical. Probably not going to get rid of those, because they're just make my life so much easier. But if you want a digital version, there's a digital version. And there's some issues. Yeah, there's issues that I think that we sometimes forget about. because we do a lot of reading and speaking and listening and talking, we were like, oh, we get all these different modes. We're hitting kids. There are still kids who need extra supports, right?
Yep.
So read aloud is a great thing that maybe your kids need to be able to look at something and also hear it. So that's a great one. Go ahead. I heard a big breath in. Oh, I'm missing one. Oh, I didn't put it on there. Another one that I thought of that I didn't obviously put on here is this is the first time in a while that I've had a colorblind student.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's been a while for me.
And so we are, of course, doing the clothing unit, and we are talking about which clothing is which color. And he sort of raised his hand and was like, I don't know. So there's an extension that you can get for like identify the color. And I thought for your kids who might have colorblind issues, they can hover over and tell them what the color is. So
right.
That was my
well, and I had two, like, that's funny that you say that, because I had on that moat thing, I had color coded some of them where I was like, match the, your answer key should, if you move the right audio to the right description, it should be like yellow, red, purple, blue, kind of a thing. Cause I had changed the outline of the moat icon, just like an outline, like any shape in Google like slides. And then my student was like, so remember, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I ended up just changing the textured outline, like the dash line versus, I was like solid dashed, big dashed, and then like dashed and dots, whatever. But yeah, we totally, like, it can be hard when you forget about those.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know, like me, and like forget about but a lot of times they don't say anything until, and you're like, sorry, you should have, come on, it's my job to accommodate you.
Why don't you have a flag? I should have known this.
Right, 100%. Your icon should be like highlight in some way. Like, oh my gosh.
Okay, Meredith, we have come to the end of this slideshow and this presentation. We managed to get through all of the craziness of Teams and internet and computers and Chrome.
In 59 minutes. Look at us.
And perfect timing. Okay, so I'll let everyone go. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you who are watching us asynchronously, I hope you enjoyed it.
You're so welcome.
They're like, I turned off after 10 minutes. So you guys.
Yeah, they're like, girl, get your internet. Listen.
Somebody says, Kelly says, for those of us, yes. I'll send it out as soon as I get the email. Not as soon as, probably tomorrow or Saturday. I'll send the video out.
Totally.
Life's a bit crazy right now. But let's talk, Meredith. Our next one is in October.
Yep.
No.
Correct.
What day are we?
It is in, let me look here because I just navigated to that one to see. Yeah, it's October 5th, which is a Thursday.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about different things to use Google Slides, different ways to use Google Slides.
Don't even get me started.
I know, like we're going to nerd out on this one. Love Google Slides.
I love it.
Everything but slideshows. So
100% everything but slideshows. Yeah.
Not going to lie, I still love a slideshow, but it's got a lot of cool stuff.
Okay.
Well, then we will all see you guys next month.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Good times. Bye.